So you're going to show the flag.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I guess next we have the roll call.
Ratan Chaudhary,
Aye.
Guy Haas. Absent. An Bao,
Present.
Albert Alcorn,
Aye.
Rajani Nair,
Here.
and Kevin Lay. Commissioner Lay is absent. We do have a quorum, Chair.
Yeah, thank you. So I would like to reiterate what Daniel mentioned before. When we make a motion, whoever is making a motion, please state the name. And whoever is seconding, please also state the name as well, because we have this virtual meeting. So it's difficult for city staff to get the names, I guess. So that will help them. So with that, I guess we'll go to the next item, seating of alternates. So I guess we don't have any item there, right, Daniel?
Yes, sir.
Because we seated Commissioner Kevin Lay last time. So that is done. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda.
Do you need a motion, Chair?
Yes, I need a motion for that.
This is Commissioner Nair, a motion to approve the agenda.
Chair Chowdhury, I second that.
Albert Alcorn, second.
Thank you.
Okay. Ratan Chaudhary,
Yes.
An Bao,
Aye.
and that's the end of the roll call, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the meeting minutes from the last meeting, March the 15th, and which was a regular meeting. I would like to make the motion to approve that. This is Chair Chowdhury.
This is Commissioner Nair, I second.
Okay, so that was the motion for motion from the chair. Is that correct? Sorry.
Correct, yes.
Okay. An Bao,
Aye.
Albert Alcorn.
Aye.
Thank you.
We have two ayes, right, Daniel?
Yes, we have a motion and second from the chair and the second from the Commissioner Nair.
Yeah, I got that one. Thank you.
Okay, you got that, Sophia?
Yes, thank you.
Next item on the agenda is public forum, where we invite members of the audience to address the commission on any subject which might not be on the agenda. Please state your name, and address is optional for the record. And please limit the remark to 3 minutes or less. Do we have anybody from public?
We do not tonight, Chair.
Sorry?
We do not tonight.
Okay, thank you. Next one is announcement from the commissioners. I have an announcement. So what I was going to mention, since we are a fairly small team, and we are pretty much a lot of us are in high tech, I was going to invite the commissioners to talk about what they are doing, any subject of interest. Maybe a short presentation. It could be related to what you are doing to basically update the rest of the commission And you can probably make a presentation for probably about 5 minutes or less. That would be about 3-4 slides, 5 slides maximum. And I think we'll rotate that going, for starting the next meeting, whoever volunteers, I'll be more than happy to accommodate that, and we'll listen to what people have been doing. And so I invite every commissioner, and please let us know. And you don't have to let us know right now, but I guess you can send an email to Daniel and copy me if you want to present something to talk about whatever you're engaged in or whatever you would like to talk about.
Well,
So,
I mean, is it okay to volunteer now?
yes, please.
I'll volunteer for next month.
Okay, that would be great. So I guess then I'll volunteer for, depending on the time, I can also volunteer for next month or the month after next month. And we'll start that activity. Thank you, Commissioner Alcorn.
Okay,
Yeah, and
now-
you can title mine semiconductor test.
Okay, that's great. So, and my title, I'll probably, since I'm in aerospace, I work for Japan Aerospace, I'll probably talk about their spacecraft Hayabusa 2. So I'll talk about that.
okay, this Unbound, and I'll volunteer after Ratan.
Okay, great, thank you.
Chair, just for the record, Vice Chair Haas joined. He's having trouble with video.
Okay,
It's
welcome,
7:07 p.m.
welcome Vice Chair Haas.
Oh, sorry to interrupt. I just joined as well.
Okay, thank you. So I would also like to state that please try to be on time to avoid any disruption in the future. We had a lot of disruption last year, as everyone knows, from outside, not outside, but for unforeseen circumstances. Okay. Next item on the agenda is business items. So item 9A is public safety radio project update. And I believe we have some update from the city's police department on this one.
Yes, Chair, we have Captain Steve Fox joining to present.
Welcome, Captain Fox.
Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. I just, may I start?
Yes, please.
First, I'd like to say good evening to the commission and everyone watching. I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Steve Fox. I'm a police captain with the Milpitas Police Department, and I currently oversee our technical services unit, which includes our dispatch center. And so tonight, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a brief overview and an update on our public safety radio project. Next slide, Daniel. So first, just a quick background on the Silicon Valley Regional Interoperability Authority. It represents the interests of all the public safety agencies in Santa Clara County with its 19 municipal members and partners. Its service area is the Santa Clara County operational area, which includes the county of Santa Clara and its 15 cities and towns. And that also includes Milpitas. Next slide, Daniel. So we operate on the Silicon Valley Regional Communication System, which is also known as SVRCS. So let me try to explain this just a little bit. So the SVRCS is a NAPCO Project 25 compliant trunk digital communication system that we use, and it operates on the 700 megahertz frequency spectrum. So this site, it's a 30-site system. It's a mix of existing government radio sites with some new sites to ensure that we have coverage throughout the SVRIA operational area. There's another component to it, which is called the Land Mobile Radio also known as the LMR, which provides the needs for our police, our fire, our EMS, our public works, and other local jurisdictions that might need to communicate. So the system provides interoperable communications to thousands of the public safety and public governments throughout the Bay Area. Next slide, Daniel. So as you might be aware, maybe not, back last February 2020, we actually switched over to the Svrc system. And there were no major issues during the cutover. And as part of that plan, we retained one backup radio channel for the police and the fire, and those operate on the 800 megahertz system. So as we'll talk about here in a minute, the point of having the backup system is in the event of there's a failure with the Svrcs, which there was one, which I'm going to talk about here in a minute. One other benefit and feature of having the Svrcs system is that when an employee, whether it be a police officer, a firefighter, or someone else, when they're actually utilizing the radio, the dispatcher who's managing those communications, they can actually see what handpack or what radio is communicating with them, and is able to identify that person based on the radio, which is a nice feature to have. Next slide, Daniel. So the Svrcs contingency plan, like I mentioned, it calls for the Milpitas Police Department and Fire Department to have a backup channel in the event of some radio failure with that Svrcs system. So if you recall last year in August, there was lightning thunderstorms forecast for the Bay Area. PG&E, in response to that, implemented the public safety power shutdown, which caused a failure to a generator that was supporting one of our the radio sites. So what ended up happening was that the generator failed for several hours. When that occurred, the Milpitas Police Department and the Fire Department reverted back to our backup system so that we could operate during that downtime. And again, that was for several hours until that generator was repaired and the Svrcs radio system was back up and running. And this was actually the only incident that we've had where there's been a radio failure. Next slide, Daniel. So that was just a very brief overview of the Svrcs system and just some history on it. And again, I just wanted to touch upon the fact that since we've implemented it, there really haven't been any issues. We did have that one failure because of some equipment malfunction. But before I end this, I wanted to talk about some of the main benefits of actually having this Svrcs radio system. And really the main benefit of having it is the ability for personnel, whether it be the fire department or the police department, to communicate with each other and from staff and employees from other jurisdictions. And so I'm going to give you a couple examples of incidents where we've actually utilized the SVRS system to be successful in our operations. And the first example I want to bring up was an event back in December at the Great Mall. At the time, we had some information that there was a shooting at the Great Mall. We initiated the active shooter protocol, and what ended up happening was law enforcement agencies from different jurisdictions responded to Milpitas to assist us. During that time, all of the agencies that responded to Milpitas, they went to a mutual aid channel. With them, we were able to communicate regarding updates with the event. We were able to plan how we were going to successfully resolve the event. And really the communication in that event was really, it was critical, and the SVRCS system really came into play during that event. Some of the more common uses for it would be, for example, the fire department. If, let's say, our example, the Milpitas Fire Department responded to assist either San Jose or Fremont, or they responded to assist us, we can communicate with those agencies on a mutual aid channel. So the communication, obviously, in these types of events are really important, and the SVRCS system has really been successful in those operations, and we rely on it heavily. So that was just a brief overview of the system. I wanted to give you guys some examples of when we've actually used it. I wanted to talk about our backup system and the benefits of having it. With that, I don't have anything else to add. It was just a quick update. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to take them.
Yeah, I've got a question.
Yes.
So we've had, mutual aid has been around for forever, right?
Yes.
In the old analog radios and everything?
Yes.
Okay, so the question is, how is the mutual aid under the new system different or better than the previous mutual aid?
Well, the benefit is that if, for example, we have an agency that might not be on the SVRCS, we're able to actually patch them in to ours. And so we're able to kind of plug and play with some of the agencies throughout the Bay Area. And so there's a little bit more variability with what we have. And there's also more channels actually to use in the event of an incident. There's more availability. That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I have three more questions, but I want to defer to the rest of the commission to ask a question before I tie up all your time.
And just to I should have prefaced this. I am not the most tech savvy person at the police department, but I'm fortunate to be supported by a lot of people who are tech savvy with radio equipment. So I'll do my best to answer your questions to your satisfaction with my limited knowledge of the radio system.
No problem.
I'm happy to answer.
So I had a question.
Yes.
What is the latency between the primary and the backup system? If the primary system fails, how long does it take for you guys to realize that you have to, kickstart the backup system or switch over to the backup system?
No, I understand the question. So obviously we'll know if the system is not working, and the backup system is always in play. It's always there. The challenge would be is to communicate that with the personnel out in the field if we can't reach them. We have ways of doing that, but there's really no downtime. It's just a matter of kind of communicating to staff, look, the SVR system is not working. We need to revert back to our backup channel. So that's really the challenge. But there's really no downtime. It's always there. It's available. It's just that, and it's only happened once, so we don't have a lot of experience with switching back and forth.
Okay, thank you.
So you don't have to boot up the system and wait for it to warm up and coordinate with everybody to, okay, switch to this station. And
no, it's really more of just communicating with them that, hey, we're going to go to this backup system for a while any issues with the main system is resolved. But again, the challenge would be is if no one can communicate on the main system, you have to get that message out to staff, which is not difficult, but that would probably be the only delay.
right, thanks.
Okay, I'll ask another question. How many channels does Milpitas occupy, and what are generally speaking their groupings? And the next one is what percentage of the time do, say, for example, the police department or fire department, what percentage of the time do they use personal or company cell phones instead of using the radios?
Okay, so let's break this question down here because there's a few elements there. So repeat that first part again.
How many groups, or previously we had Fire 1, Fire 2, Police 1, Police 2, and several others. How many do we have now?
I believe we have up to 4 police channels. I'm sorry, 5 for the police, and we have, I think, 5 for the fire department as well. So
And
with
how-
the RCS system, we do have that increased capacity.
Okay, and there's a feature where you can create like a temporary channel just for 3 or 4 people to communicate. Do you guys utilize that at all?
We don't use that currently, no.
Okay. Oh, and the other part of it was what percentage of their time in communicating is done on cell phones versus the radio system?
Pertaining to who exactly?
Say, let's just take, for example, police officers.
So we actually don't issue cell phones to all of our staff. Some of our staff do have cell phones. And so to answer your question, I don't know. I don't have I couldn't give you an estimate of how much time they use on their phones. But for day-to-day operations, especially for patrol, all of the radio traffic, all the business is conducted over the radio. Just for safety reasons, we don't want our, for example, our police occupied on the phone while they're conducting traffic stops and investigations. That makes sense.
Yep, makes a lot of sense. How much the communication is encrypted?
We do have some channels that are currently encrypted, but we also have a channel that is not encrypted.
Okay, that's it for me. Thank you very much, by the way.
You're welcome. I hope I answered all your questions to your satisfaction.
Very much so.
Yeah, this was good. This was informative quite a bit. Thank you. Any more questions for Captain? Thank you again. And I appreciate, keep on doing the hard work.
All right, thank you very much.
So we need a motion to approve and file this, right?
I'll make the motion.
So moved. Okay.
Please state your names and I think Commissioner Haas made the motion to file it, receive and file, right?
I got it in. Yeah.
And I'll second Albert.
There you go.
Thank you. So moving along and a little time check, we are 7:22. For,
We need to do-
Chair, can we do a roll call, please?
oh, yes, sorry. Yes, go ahead.
And the motion was from the Vice Chair Haas, and the second was from Commissioner
Commissioner Alcorn.
Ratan Chaudhary,
Aye.
Anbal,
Aye.
Rajan Nair.
Aye.
That was the end of the roll call today. Thank you. Actually, yeah, that's the end of the roll call today. Chair, should we be? This might be a question to Mike. Mike, do we I think we have full attendance, so no, sorry about that. Yeah, no, that's the end of the roll call. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So we are going to go to 9B. And we have roughly 40 minutes or so left. So we can probably spend about 5 or 6 minutes on each one of these at the most. And then so I think B1, 9B1 is goal 1 to receive the from commissioners on the first one being the digital inclusion strategy from Commissioner Nair and Commissioner Lay. If they have any updates, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Just an update, we had an opportunity to set up a meeting with Milpitas School District, and we met with their IT director, and also with city staff, in addition to Commissioner Lee and myself. And we had a great conversation to really understand some of their investments that they've done on their school properties, and potential opportunities that they could co-collaborate with the city. And I think right now where we are is, city staff are going to collaborate further with Milpitas School District to determine where are some good use cases to expand upon. In addition, both Commissioner Lee and I, we've compiled a survey of questions that we would like to distribute either with actually with both the school district and with city, to get a better understanding of the needs and quality of the connectivity, just so that we can understand, areas of interest. And so, so that's like one of the next steps for us to deploy the survey so we can get a better understanding of, the community's needs.
So what is the timetable to complete this survey?
Right now, we just need to, it's really kind of at the mercy of city staff right now. So, so hopefully we can deploy that early by the end of this month or early next month.
Yeah, we're currently waiting for approval of the survey.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, we need to meet with the communications chair at least. Mike or Daniel, I don't know if you want to add anything more.
So what I understand is this, what I understand is that after the survey is done, we'll be able to fine tune what the needs are for the city.
And I
in
guess
terms of
the final
connectivity.
step, yeah, the final step would be, I guess, present the findings to this committee and then also to council.
I see. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Mike, did you want to add something?
No, I think the communication managers is out, and she's back tomorrow. So we'll have her get in touch, and I think that will initiate the survey.
Okay, that will be great, Mike. Thank you. Okay, so if no more questions, we'll probably go to goal number 2, which is for 5G implementation status from Commissioners Bao and Haas.
And actually, there's no new status on this subject. We're still working with IT staff to invite Verizon and AT&T and the various companies to give us an update.
Okay. Any questions for Commissioner Bao or Commissioner Haas on this topic? Looks like none, so we'll go to goal number 3, which is for odor sensors in the city. I own that with Commissioner Alcorn. So I don't have anything additional on this one from the newbie side or from the people that are communicating, I was communicating with. I did trade an email or 2 with Commissioner Alcorn. But I guess apart from that, I don't have any more update from my side. I don't know if Commissioner Alcorn wants to update.
Unfortunately, the tomatoes took priority.
Okay. Tomatoes help in terms of greenhouse gases and all that. So that's good. They're probably contributing more. Okay, thank you. Next goal is traffic congestion, again owned by myself and Commissioner Nair for the city of Milpitas. Again, I did trade a few emails with Commissioner Nair, and I believe you have sent an email to the city traffic manager, Steve Chan.
Right, I did, but I didn't get a response. So I was going to send another email just to see if we can meet with them to understand some of the what effort the city has done.
Right, okay, good.
Hey, Chair, this is Mike. I got a little brief comment on that.
Sure.
Yeah, so the transportation, there's a subcommittee with the mayor and vice mayor and also Steve Chan, the transportation manager.
Mm-hmm.
They met last Friday, and there's a lot of good updates in there regarding traffic congestion or alleviate traffic congestion on the project to widen Calaveras. So the meeting is on YouTube. I can ask Daniel to send out the link. And if you want to go ahead and watch that, there's a project plan, and there's a huge discussion in terms of course, it's not cheap. I think the estimate cost is $80 million for widening of Calaveras, but there's a lot of details in that, and they met last Friday, so we're happy to send that direct link to everyone.
How long is the video, Mike?
It's an hour meeting, but you can definitely skip to the widening of, there were three presentations. You can skip to the one that's regarding the widening of Calaveras.
I was wondering, since we have half an hour left, maybe we can go through probably that in a shortened fashion, if you can pull it off. If other commissioners agree.
If that's okay, we can go ahead and share that.
Yes, please. Because that impacts all of us, so I'm really interested.
Okay, why don't we go ahead and go to the last item, which Dan can cover regarding the CAD upgrades, and then we'll go back to item 4.
Okay, sounds good. So let's go to goal number 5, which is the IT technology project. Owned by Commissioner Bao and Commissioner Alcorn.
Right, and I think at the last meeting we said the CAD upgrade should complete in April. So I guess Dan has a
Dan has
date
a
for that.
presentation on that. Okay, thank you.
Yes, so I can. So we are actually, as we speak, there's an upgrade happening on my other screen here. So we have we purchased the current CAD system from a company called Tritech Software Systems based in San Diego. We purchased it over 10 years ago, and we've been continuously upgrading the software version. And throughout that time, we upgraded hardware as well as they age. So this is, we've completed 3rd hardware replacement project. Now we are this upcoming upgrade that started today, which is expected to end next Tuesday, involves one of the most involved CAD upgrade since we purchased the system. The reason for that is it requires 3 different phases, and involves a brand new hyper-converged infrastructure system. So all new hardware, all new Windows operating system. So we're going from Windows Server 2008 to jumping to 2016 all the way to 2019. So by next Tuesday, we'll be running the latest version from this company of 2020 version, and running on a brand new hardware, a brand new HCI hardware, and we will also have the Windows 2019 operating system. In this project also involves upgrading all of our mobile computers that's being used by the police departments and fire department. So our help desk team has upgraded all 50 computers that's out there in our vehicles. And as we speak, there are dispatch workstations. So the computers that the dispatchers are actually using to dispatch, they are being replaced with a brand new Windows 10 based system right now. So we were going to present a little bit more detailed an update on the CAD upgrade this meeting, but our discussion with the chair and the vice chair, we have decided to postpone it to the next meeting because we had a public safety radio project update presentation this month. So we'll be preparing that and sharing how the project went in our May meeting.
Great, thank you, Daniel.
Sure.
Any question for Daniel? If not, I guess we'll go to goal number 4 for Mike's sharing the YouTube video on the
Hey,
track.
Chair, just for public comments, there's a hand raised for public comments. I don't know for which item, but if you want to take public comments right now, or we can wait until after.
I think let's wait until after because we have passed, public forum.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and share, but just before I do that, actually, there were two presentations in regard to traffic or dealing with traffic congestion. One is ride share. I think that was last year's work plan as well, regarding the shuttle bus, the last mile. So the city won a grant. I just sent those two presentations to Daniel to share with the whole commission. So
Okay.
Daniel can go ahead and send that presentations out, but in the meantime, we'll go ahead and show the last 10 minutes of the video that talks about Calaveras widening.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen.
Between Milpitas Boulevard and Able Street, which results in substantial congestion during the AM and PM peak hour, which has exacerbated for more than a decade. Calaveras Boulevard widening project will widen the roadway to eliminate this bottleneck and install sidewalk on both sides of the bridge structure and provide bicycle lane to enhance mobility. The city also adopted a traffic impact fee for all new development in the city to contribute funding to building this improvement in 2009. In regards to the 2016 Measure B tax measure, as Jay mentioned earlier, Measure B is a 30-year half-cent sales tax measure passed by Santa Clara County voter in 2016 to fund transportation improvement. Measure B is expected to generate $6.3 billion over 30 years to fund 9 transportation programs. These 9 programs include BART Phase 2, pedestrian and bicycle improvement, Caltrain corridor improvement, Caltrain grade separation project, county expressway improvement, highway interchange projects, local streets and road for maintenance of local jurisdiction roadways, State Route 85 corridor improvement, as well as transit operation improvement. There are 24 projects listed in the highway program, and Calaveras widening project is identified as one of those highway program projects. VTA is currently developing a 10-year expenditure plan for Measure B. The expenditure plan will include principal, budget, as well as project selection criteria for allocation of the Measure B revenue we receive annually. The current principle presented by VTA so far essentially caps tax revenue allocation for each program category to align with the intent of Measure B, so that no one program will get additional funding in advance of at the expense of other programs. Secondly, the formula-based program will get a percentage of annual tax revenue. These formula-based programs include local street and road, which allows for maintenance of local streets and pavement, bicycle and pedestrian improvement, as well as transit operation. The remaining 6 programs are classified as need capacity-based program. And these projects will be implemented based on project readiness criteria. So looking at the expenditure allocation, this is a simplified version of what that allocation would entail. As you see on the left column, it lists all the 9 programs. The total allocation for each of the program per the ballot measure is on the second column, and the allocation percentage is on the third column, and then the annual allocation based on the 10-year expenditure principle is listed on the last column. As you can see, the highlighted program, the highway program, which includes the Calaveras widening program, will receive a $25 million annual allocation between the 24 highway project in the ballot measure. If adopted, the 10-year funding for Measure B would be constrained for all the program. Calaveras widening project would need to be completed in phases due to this significant project cost. The estimated project completion cost is at $85 million, with an annual of $25 million distributed between 24 other projects. We would likely not be able to complete this project all at once. City staff have reached out to VTA to discuss advancing the next phase of Calaveras project. The project study for the Calaveras widening project has already been completed. The next phase of the project would be the environmental documentation of the project. Completion of the environmental documentation will allow Calaveras Boulevard widening project to be more competitive when compared to other projects competing to limited, funding opportunity, both locally, statewide, as well as federal opportunity. Additional staff is working with VTA to develop a funding agreement to memorialize the project commitments for both agencies to complete the environmental document phase of the project, and will be bringing the agreement to full council for consideration. That concludes the presentation for the Calaveras widening project. I'm happy to answer any.
Okay, so that was good. That's at least seems to be a good headway, making some progress on that.
Yeah, can't wait for Calaveras to be widened, and I think especially the bridge where the bottleneck is.
Correct.
Is there a place we can go to get to monitor the status?
Mike? Daniel?
He might be muted here. I am not aware of the page where we can monitor the status, but we'll check and get back to you. Mike just unmuted.
I see, okay.
Yeah, Commissioner, right now it's still in discussion, and they're definitely gonna take that to council, and then I guess if staff hears anything further, but definitely the transportation, they do meet once a month for updates on all transportations related projects. So that would be the best source right now that we know of.
Oh yeah, the minutes from their meetings. That would be good. Is that on the city's website?
We'll check and get back to you, Commissioner.
Okay, thanks.
I guess since that's related to the item goal number 4, the traffic congestion, maybe from time to time we can get an update there then.
Yeah, that would be good.
And Commissioners, I just sent out the 2 presentation files from that subcommittee meeting to your emails.
Okay, thank you, Daniel.
Sure.
So any more questions on any of these work plans? Looks like not, so I guess I would like to make the motion to receive and file the 9B work plan updates. We need a second. So I'm the making the motion. Daniel?
Okay.
This is Commissioner Nair, I second.
Commissioner Nair, second, recorded. Guy Haas?
Aye.
Anbao?
Aye.
Albert Alcorn?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, with that, I guess we will probably entertain the public forum for a short time. Please be aware that you have 2 minutes to talk.
A question, clarification. Is this a general public forum or public forum to the business item 9?
For a business item 9.
So this is a public comment for the current business item specifically.
Yes, if there are any
Got it. Thank you.
comments, yes.
Yeah, thank you for the clarification.
So, Chair, we have one public with the hand raised,
Okay,
and we'll prepare the timer.
yeah,
And 1 second, please. Okay, Mr.
evening
Mehta,
to-
please mute, unmute
Sure.
your mic.
Sure. Thank you very much. Good evening to all the commissioners and as well as chair and vice chair, the Science Technology Innovation Commission. This is Svrc Kumar Mehta, serving to City of Milpitas as a public speaker. Well, I wanted to mention first of all about any commissioner serving to the City of Milpitas, considering we're having a legal bindings and as well as the jurisdiction proceedings ongoing. I wanted to mention that, in any such kind of a circumstances, if any particular commissioner or representative representing the City of Milpitas with regards to any specific legal matter, if there is any probation that they are serving and that probation is completed, then I request that commissioner and chair and vice chair to include that policy such that that commissioner be reinstated, and as well as be informing the city of serving back to the respective commission, and as well as informing the chair and the vice chair with regards to that. Also, I request all the commissioner as well as chair and a vice chair to implement the ex parte communication. So in case for any specific matter with regards to Science, Technology and Innovation Commission within the City of Milpitas, they continue to maintain the direct communication with the public interest as per the Robert M. Brown Act, and as well as making sure about that the ex parte communication be included such that every commissioner has the ability to directly communicate with the public representatives, and as well as having also be in a communication with the public. I also wanted to mention about the 2016 tax measure that was introduced in 2016 by the County of Santa Clara, and as well as the tax measure which was renowned to instead of a 30-year plan, which was renowned to a 10-year plan. I wanted to bring it to the Commission's attention that the plan was denied by the County of Santa Clara as to be implemented, and then there is a new Measure B tax plan which is going to be in place in order for re-evaluating the plan with the County of Santa Clara. So the plan which was presented to the City of Milpitas, that's no longer valid, which was back in 2016, and it was required to be updated. And the Board of Supervisors decided not to implement the Measure B 2016 Measure B. Along with that, I wanted to update on the item number 9 with the Science, Technology, Innovation Commission. I request Chair and Vice Chair to include the COVID-19 exposure notification implementation, as well as updating the City of Milpitas portal with the different vaccination services available within the City of Milpitas, and as well as the County of Santa Clara jurisdiction, such that the seniors and as well as the respective citizens of City of Milpitas be aware about through the application of City of Milpitas that what are the resources available for COVID-19. Thank you.
okay, thank you.
Okay, Chair, we only had one public comment.
Okay, thank you. So I guess that is okay. So we'll go to item number 10 now for discussion of future items. Do we have any future items that need to be discussed or included from any commissioner?
Chair, is this the one that you wanted to do a presentation, or Commissioner Alcorn? We're going to do the 5-minute. Is this where we say it?
So that
The
could,
what you propose that each one of us do a presentation, is this?
yeah. So I guess this is where it probably fits in. It will fit in.
Chair, we might be able to do it in, we can add another item after business items, or we could also do it in the announcements on item number 8
Okay,
for a brief presentation, and then we can move over to the business items if you would like.
okay.
Thank you.
That work as well. So I guess we don't have any item for discussion for future as a future item. Okay. Next is item number 11.
Chair, I apologize. Number
Yes.
10.
Yes.
So future item, as I mentioned earlier, I will be providing you a presentation on the CAD upgrade, so they will fall under item number 10.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. And for item number 11, Mayor Tran is not present with us today.
Okay.
But city staff would like to request, give you a reminder for photos if you have not sent to us. And we'll post it on the website. And second item is that in May meeting, the May 17th is our next meeting. It's one of those Mondays that we have conflicts with another commission. So that commission changed their time for us last time, so we don't have to change our time. So it's our turn this time. So I would like to suggest that we change the meeting time to 5:30 p.m. if that will work for all commissioners.
I'm fine with that.
Commissioner Hawes, so moved.
Yeah, I'm fine.
No, I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm fine as well. I'll make time for that.
Okay, so could we actually vote on that item, please? So the motion and the second, please, and I will do a roll call.
So I'll make the motion to vote for that.
Second, please.
Hawes, I'll second.
Okay, Vice Chair second. Anbao,
Aye.
Alcorn,
Aye.
Rajan and Nair.
Aye.
Thank you. So that was the end of the city staff report, Chair.
Okay, so I guess next item is adjournment. We need a motion for that, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I would like to make the motion to adjourn the meeting.
And I'll second it.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
And I will do a roll call. Guy Haas,
Aye.
Anbao,
Aye.
Rajan and Nair.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Stay safe. Stay healthy.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Likewise.
You do.
Thank
Good
you.
evening.
Okay. Good night.
Good evening.
Good night. This was a good meeting. Good night.
Yep. Good night.